Hi, everyone, and welcome into Joshing Around Milwaukee. My name is Josh Albrecht, and with me, as always, is...
Hey, it's Josh Albrecht.
That's right, Josh Albrecht and Josh Albrecht, and we are here to talk about all the wonderful things about Milwaukee, and we are very excited to have on our guest today, Tea Krulos. Tea, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Tea, give us a little bit of a rundown before we get into this amazing event that you're going to be putting on. Tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do here in Milwaukee.
Yeah, well, I'm a freelance journalist. I'm a frequent contributor to Milwaukee Magazine. I'm an author. I've written 5 nonfiction books, and I'm an event organizer, and I organize a couple of big events every year.
And so we're going to get into QWERTYFEST, which is one of those, but 5 books.
Yeah.
Josh, have you ever had to write a paper and just been like... I'm in 11
yeah, but a
pages
book you want to write, a paper that's been assigned to you. You're like,
I just feel like even if I
paper.
wrote a book, I'd be like 30 or 40 pages in, and I'd be like, this is enough. How do we wrap this up?
It's not
Short
easy.
stories.
It's not
Short
easy,
stories. Yeah.
What's your most recent book completed?
So I had a book published in 2020 titled American Madness, and it's about a conspiracy theorist that I met.
Oh, nice.
And I got to know him a little bit. And
From a Milwaukee conspiracy theorist?
No, he lived in Pahrump, Nevada, but our paths crossed, and I was really interested in why he thought the things that he did, so I tried to figure it out.
Yeah, very cool.
Yeah.
So a story about 2 guys living in the same city with the same exact name, no relation.
Yeah, could
You
be
think
a bestseller.
there's something here?
Turns out they started a podcast/radio show. Yeah.
Fiction or nonfiction?
Could be a good one.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for being here. And as I mentioned...
Wait a second. Are you pitching to him to write our biographies?
I just thought, listen, he just did this he met a guy who was interested in what he said. I feel like maybe we have a
tale of
an
2
interesting
Joshes.
story.
We got a story.
Don't crush the dream.
Yeah, exactly.
Come on,
Yeah.
we have a bobblehead.
That's right.
We've talked about a few other things.
Might get our own coffee from
Our own
Stone
coffee.
Creek. Yeah, okay.
Why not a novel?
Why not a novelization of our lives?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Well, I don't know that it needs to go in depth. I'm just saying the premise.
Sure.
I would
idea
let
is
T
there.
take it however he
Yeah.
wants. It's
Right.
it could become, as long as it's not like a murder mystery.
But wow.
Could be intriguing.
Unless we're solving it. Don't make us murderers.
That's right.
I guess that's the main thing I'm looking for. So obviously you're very familiar with, writing and storytelling and all of these things, which is probably why it made perfect sense to have this festival called QWERTYFEST and tell people what QWERTYFEST is.
Yeah, so a lot of people in Milwaukee aren't aware of this fact, I've discovered, but the typewriter, the first working version of the typewriter, was invented here in Milwaukee, just a few blocks away from where we are right now, actually, in downtown. It was invented by a guy named Christopher Latham Scholes. He had several other people who collaborated to finally make a working typing machine, which really revolutionized not only the way that we write, but kind of the way the world works in general. So, and one lasting feature of that typewriter, by the way, if you look at your keyboard, and there's one right here in the studio, the first 6 letters on the top row spell out QWERTY, so it's known as the QWERTY keyboard. And even though we don't need it to be laid out that way anymore, it's just carried on from that first keyboard invented here in Milwaukee to our laptop and phone keyboards that we still use today. So that's kind of a legacy from Milwaukee that everyone in the English-speaking world still uses.
Yeah, I absolutely love it. There's a plaque downtown. You can go and stand on the spot where the building was, where it was the invention occurred.
And it's funny, that plaque actually is what inspired me, because one day I was walking around doing some errands downtown, and I walked by that. And I had seen it before, and I was a little bit aware of the history. But that particular day, I think I just wasn't in a rush to be anywhere. So I kind of stood there for a moment, and I was like, you know what? This is kind of a big deal. And why does Milwaukee not really acknowledge it other than having this plaque, which is nice? Mm-hmm. But I'm like, there's no sort of event or anything that ties into that really important history. And that's when the wheel started to turn on developing QWERTYFEST.
Yeah, and it's so the fact that it started in Milwaukee is just
Yeah.
absolutely dynamite. Like
Yeah.
I love every second, and I've seen the same plaque, and
Yeah.
and I love that you know something that is so culturally significant.
Yeah, it's a huge piece of history. It's not like just like a
Yeah.
a toy was made here or like you
Right.
know.
I mean, we still like now. It's the QWERTY keyboard is literally in your pocket every day now.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, through your cell phone, and it's
Yeah.
the same keyboard functionality, same style, and that legacy. I'm assuming this is like totally the type of thing, right? Like typing is like once you know typing, it's like riding your bike, right? Once you know how to type, you type forever.
Yeah.
So to change, like, could you imagine if they were like, you know what, it's going to be a different keyboard. We're not QWERTY
Right.
keyboard. We're whatever Newhart keyboard or whatever. You're
Yeah,
like, what?
trying something. Well, and like even just the different ways that they've using it that they've changed, like on the phone, like you have the option to like
Swipe.
drag and
Yeah.
slide, which I can't do.
No, you
I
still type.
got to peck.
Yeah.
Oh, you're an index
Well,
finger.
I've got.
Peck?
I'm very weird actually. I go thumb and
I've
index
seen
finger.
that. Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's
I'm two
both.
thumbs. T.
It kind of depends on the keyboard, but yeah, I'm kind of very fast hunt and pecking
Yeah.
style. I didn't really, I tried to take typing class when I was in high school.
Oh.
They did the thing where they cover your hands
Yep.
with a piece of cardboard.
Bad
And-
I don't know why, but like traumatic memories of like trying to like peek under the cover
Yeah,
and
yeah.
getting sorry.
It didn't work for me because I'd already kind of taught myself how to type in my own way, and it requires looking at the keyboard a little bit. So
Sure.
it didn't work for me.
And then once you learn your own way to do
Yeah.
it, now you
hard
do
to
that
break
much
that
faster
habit.
than
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Than
Right.
the way you're
Yeah.
traditionally supposed to do it.
I wonder if like what'll be the next kind of way that advances. Like because when the original typewriter was made, there's no way the brain could have even have fathomed what we have now that
Yeah.
it would have gotten to this point.
Yeah.
But the fact that, like you said, Josh, that it has stayed that same model this
Across-
far
yeah.
in time and
Now, let me
inventions
ask
and
you.
technology.
Which starts here in Milwaukee. I'm sure through your research and like celebration of the QWERTY Fest and the history of it, were there other keyboard styles but
There were,
just
yeah.
QWERTY was better, right?
None of them really seemed to stick. There was a keyboard called the Dvorak layout, which is a completely different layout, and they just, for whatever reason, we like developed this thing that we recognize, and then we keep it even when it's no longer necessary. So none of the other keyboard styles really stuck.
Yeah.
There was attempts.
There's some guy in Cincinnati who was like, the Queen City is going to be the best one.
Yeah,
And it's
yeah.
like, no, sorry, the Milwaukee one's the best one.
yeah.
There are people who argue that the Dvorak keyboard is a superior layout, but
They're fools.
Yeah. I don't know what they could have been thinking.
right.
That we have a proven fact that this is the best way to do it.
Yeah.
If it works, don't fix it if it's
I
not
mean,
broken.
Yeah, if you're not broke, you'll fix it for sure.
But it's just overall this time. Like,
Yeah. So, what other kind of fun history nuggets have you unearthed with celebrating the QWERTY Festival?
It's been really great because, like I said, when we first started, I was vaguely aware of the history, but every year we learn more and more about our own history and other people who were involved in inventing that keyboard. One thing I really love is the keyboard was it was invented, or the typewriter was invented right next to Turner Hall. So the historic plaque is on one side of the street, but the building was actually on the other side of the street, right next to Turner Hall. And it was in a building called the Kleinstuber Machine Shop. And my understanding is this was kind of like an early maker space. It was just like a kind of big open workshop where people worked on different inventions, including the typewriter being the most notable one. But it was just kind of like the place where, inventors hung out. And I was like, what an
That's so
interesting
cool.
place
Yeah.
that must have
I
been.
wonder what else was invented there.
Yeah.
Or what like disasters, like someone came
Yeah,
in,
right.
especially like during that time and just been like, I have an idea, it explodes, like nothing works. And then got typewriter and that sticks and the rest is history.
The rest is history.
I love it. Well, very interesting stuff. And so now from that comes QWERTYFest, which we're going to get more details on when we come back on Joshing Around Milwaukee. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everyone, to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We are having a great time on today's episode with our guest, T, talking all things keyboards and typewriters. And T has told us about the novels he's written, And I just love the history that we just learned about all of this and how we started with the first typewriter here in Milwaukee and the fact that all of that's kept going all this time.
I thought you were going to be like how we started with stone tablets.
Yeah. How we started with
Chiseling in.
T making a story about the two Josh Albrechts and then got into why he's actually here. No, but it's been great. And now we need to get to QWERTYFEST, which is, I mean, the city of festivals, right? We talk about how there's a million festivals in the city, including QWERTYFEST. And so give us a little bit more detail on what all happens at QWERTYFEST, how this came together, and it kind of has grown, and what people can expect.
Yeah, so this will be our third year. So 3 years ago, after I'd seen that plaque downtown about the typewriter, I kind of put it out there on Facebook, like, why is this not celebrated? And my friend Molly Snyder is an editor and writer on Milwaukee, and she was really interested in helping make that a reality. So, I mean, sometimes an act of madness just requires one other person to say, hey, that's a good idea. Yeah, we should do that. So we're like, all right, what is it going to be, though? I mean, obviously, we wanted to celebrate Milwaukee's innovation and history. And since me and Molly are both writers, we felt there was a strong need for an opportunity for writers to have something to engage with. So we started developing this festival that's informative sometimes, but also really fun. So we're going to kick things off October 3rd with a typewriter ball at Turner Hall, which is especially appropriate because it's right next door to where it was invented. And there's a lot of fun stuff going on there. We have typewriter stations with writing prompts so people can try out different typewriters. We've got a classic computer gaming lounge where people can play like Oregon Trail and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Very cool.
They're keyboard-based games, you know. And we have vendors. There's a typewriter auction of typewriters that have been painted by local artists.
Very fun.
And then on the stage, we've got some great entertainment. 1913 is a local band that's playing, and the Boston Typewriter Orchestra, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's a group of people who play typewriters as musical instruments.
That is amazing.
Yeah, and they do everything from like classical pieces to heavy metal.
That sounds amazing.
That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
It's a very entertaining and
have you got on the keys, so to speak? Have you jumped up there and like jammed out?
I don't have a good ear for music, I would say. Otherwise, I would, because it looks really fun. Actually,
well, I think it'd be complicated because you have to
imagine the solos.
Yeah, right. but you also get the end like shing ding, you get the whole thing.
Well,
down.
that's got to be a huge part of the different sounds to make it all.
Yeah, and those bell sounds actually vary quite a bit. You'll have a tiny little ding, or some have a pretty loud, sounding one.
Oh my gosh!
Yeah, and then someone gets crazy. We're not going acoustic anymore. We're going electric.
Yeah,
right.
plug in the
electric typewriter.
Electric typewriter.
That has to be such a spectacle. You guys see that?
Fun.
Yeah, I don't. That alone. Okay, I mean, first of all, just the idea to have a festival around typewriters and the keyboards. That seems like child's play when then you bring in, there's a band of people that are playing, a band making the.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No local Milwaukee bands yet, though.
1913 is the first act playing.
But they don't use typewriters.
They don't use. They performed year one, and they had someone play a typewriter for one of their songs.
Fantastic.
Which was really nice.
Yeah.
So
I love
cool.
it when
Really
people
nice
are like, we're good at on-brand.
Yeah.
We're bringing the typewriter. It's not part. Yeah.
No, to this one, bring the typewriter. Yeah.
And I've seen sometimes you said people can try out and like type their own things. We've actually with Visit Milwaukee, because just to celebrate the QWERTY keyboard and typewriter history we have, we'll sometimes hire poets to go to trade shows and do poetry in our booth. And type up poems for people about where they're from or something as a way to extend the story.
We're going to have a whole lineup of typewriter poets
That's
at
awesome.
Turner Hall as well. I think there's 4 or 5 of them. They'll be available to type poems on the spot for people.
It's so much fun. We just you go up, you tell them one prompt, and they just bust out a quick poem about you or whatever. Such a fun little thing. But then the art element, seeing the painted typewriters, that's just a fun component to get more people involved. Is this possible? Any food typewriter / QWERTY themed?
Yes. Yeah. This is a local bakery, Bakehouse 23, I think it is. makes cupcakes with the different keys of the QWERTY keyboard on it.
Love it. Love it.
So there will be, that's the only typewriter themed food, but
Yeah.
there'll be other food available as well.
This is like,
Oh, this year, this is new. We're going to have Blue Moon popsicles
Yeah.
because Blue Moon is a Wisconsin invention. Blue Moon ice cream.
Nice.
there you go,
Yeah.
Nice. Good tie-in for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah. I like that.
man. I just love how in depth and thought out all of this is. Not saying that all the festivals don't go this far, but
Right.
I mean things that my brain couldn't even have imagined was going to be happening at this thing.
So that's just the first. There's just the
Yeah,
one
that's
Turner
it.
Yeah,
thing.
because that's
Right.
then
that's the third you said.
Yes,
Right?
October
Yeah.
3rd. And then the next day, Saturday, we've got a lineup of presentations and workshops at Central Library, which I'm really glad for people, especially people out of town, to be able to see Central because it is such a beautiful building. So we've got a really nice lineup of people. Some people are talking about typewriters. There's some general workshops for, there's a panel of mystery writers who's going to talk about mystery novels and a horror writing workshop. So we're doing that all day Saturday at Central, and then we're having an after party at the Newsroom Pub. It's called
Perfect.
the Extra
Of course.
Pub Party. And it's really a chance for people to socialize. We're going to have a couple of short presentations, and we're issuing our first QWERTY Word Award, which is going to be given to Jim Stingle, who was a Milwaukee Journal Sentinel reporter and columnist for a long time. So,
Very cool.
that's awesome.
Oh, and then Sunday, we're wrapping up the weekend. We've got a tour at Forest Home Cemetery, which is where Christopher Scholes, the inventor of the typewriter, is buried. So they've created a special tour about him and other people from the publishing industry that are buried there. And then last event is a typewriter brunch and bowl at the Falcon Bowl in River
nice.
West.
Love
And brunch will be available. People can bring their own typewriters or borrow one of ours and just hang out, enjoy some music. We're going to have live music and, type and then go bowling. We're going to have free open bowling afterwards.
I love it.
That's
I love
amazing.
it so much.
Love it.
I'm trying to think about what you could possibly do for next year. Like, how do you add? What else is there to possibly add?
The brainstorming to be had.
I know.
They've covered so many elements. I love the computer gaming element too. Like you don't think of that. Like, because immediately you're like, oh, you immediately go to typewriter, even though it's about the keyboard.
Right.
And the keyboard, as we talked earlier, lives now with cell phones, lives
Correct.
with computers, computer gaming.
Yeah.
The QWERTY keyboard is so multifaceted. It's not just old school typewriter typing. It's so layered.
Yeah. One thing I didn't mention about the Friday night party at Turner Hall, we have an annual typing contest, okay? And it's a speed typing. We started it last year with just a manual category. This year we're doing manual typewriter, electric typewriter, but we're also having a texting contest.
Nice.
So participants will have to recreate a story using words, emojis, abbreviations, whatever they need. So that's kind of a new thing because we did want to acknowledge, we're celebrating the QWERTY keyboard from its invention in the 1800s all the way up onto the devices that we use today, because the QWERTY keyboard is on all of them. So,
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, that's so awesome, and obviously this is going to be a ton of fun. We're gonna take a quick break. When we come back, give you some details about how you can partake at QWERTYFest and what days those are going to be in the market calendar and more. Stay tuned on Joshing Around Milwaukee. All right, everyone, welcome back to Joshing Around Milwaukee. We're having a great time talking everything QWERTY here with Tea Krulos and QWERTYFest coming up. It's going to be October 3rd through the 5th. And, T, thank you so much for being with us. And you just got done telling us about all the different places it's going to be. If for some reason someone missed that or maybe they forgot to write it down, what is the best way to get all of that information and more about QWERTYFest?
Yeah, best thing to do is go to our website, which is QWERTYFest.com. You can find a full schedule for everything going on there. There's also ticket links. Some of the events are ticketed, some of them are free. So, just read through the schedule, and if it requires a ticket, it'll note that. And there's also some pictures from previous years and other information on the website, too.
Very cool. Is the competition, if you want to see the competitions and stuff, is that part of the do you know the ticketed
It is, yeah.
Okay.
That's part of the Turner Hall typewriter ball is what it's called.
That's right,
And, yeah, there is a ticket to get into that. But like the presentations at the library the next day are all free.
And is there an entry fee if I feel like I have superior typing skills?
No. If people want to enter the typing competition, it's not only free to enter, but you will get free admission to the event.
Okay, so that's what I was
here's the
asking.
workaround.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, but you gotta hold your own.
Well, you gotta show
Can't be a
up.
chump up there.
Right. Right.
There should be like preliminary, like, all right, you got to pass this.
Yeah,
test.
maybe in the future there's like some sort of series at local bars and breweries, like leading up to the event where you have to qualify.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, Thursday night at Black Husky, you got to go there. And
You got to go there.
you got to drink 3 beers and you got to type super fast, or else you don't qualify.
Yeah. Oh, you think that's fast? I'm so sorry. Maybe next year for you.
Then we have some trick typing in the future, right?
Yes.
Like you gotta, like someone has to throw cheese curds at you, and you gotta catch them in your mouth while typing.
Yes.
Well,
and you can't look up.
Yeah, it's purely.
Keep your head down.
These are good ideas. We're talking about expanding the contest next year, even more than we have this year. So new categories, maybe.
Trick typing.
I mean, possibilities are endless. Well, thank you so much, T, for joining us. It's been a lot of fun, and we obviously hope that QWERTYFest is a huge success.
Well, thanks for having me, and I just want to say that, this is great. If you like typewriters, even if you're just kind of interested in having an unusual, fun time, it's a good event for you, too.
Awesome. Thanks again so much for joining us, and thank you for joining us on this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're looking for more information, of course, always go to visitmilwaukee.org. We'll see. All right, everyone. Thanks for tuning into this episode of Joshing Around Milwaukee. If you're seeing this part of the show, it means that you are listening or watching on one of Visit Milwaukee's social media platforms, and we very much appreciate that. We are here with T, and we've been talking all things keyboards and QWERTYFest. T, now is the pressure, though. That was the stuff that you knew, and that was just us learning. Josh is going to ask you his big question. Hope you're ready.
Yeah.
So we like to say is that Milwaukee has just a really tremendous amount of momentum right now. A lot of cool things going on in the city and the surrounding area. We call that fresh city vibes.
Yeah.
So what has given you fresh city vibes right now?
And I have to say, and this is true of my QWERTYFest co-organizer, Molly Snyder, as well. We're huge advocates for Milwaukee. We really love the city and think it has a lot to offer. So, I mean, currently, I would say, because it's fall time, really nice weather for walking. So I've really been enjoying that. I had to hang up some flyers for QWERTYFest, and it was really nice weather, especially like beer gardens, in this type of weather.
You got a favorite beer garden? It's hard to have a favorite.
I was going to say.
Yeah.
I used to work actually briefly at Hubbard Park Beer Garden, which is a nice one.
Yeah.
I live near Humboldt Park in Bayview. They have a nice one as well.
Yeah.
And of course, the South Shore one is pretty close to me.
South Shore is beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
And you weren't wrong about like just this time of year too. There's just something about like when the air's crisp, but like you're feeling the sun on you, and then you're just relaxing with a beer.
Yeah. You're drinking a Miller High Life, and everything's perfect.
Yeah.
So good.
Yeah.
Type it on the typewriter.
Yep. Bringing your typewriter to the beer garden.
It's great for a beer
Click-clacking
garden.
away.
Yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
The other thing I'll mention is, I kind of made what I think will be probably my last trip to the Milwaukee Public Museum, just because I wanted to see the old museum one more time before it's gone, see some of my favorite displays and stuff like that. But I'm excited for the new one. I think I'm really interested to see what they do. And
yeah, it's going to be a wonderful addition to the downtown for sure. And I mean, it's always a little, I guess you could use the word sad to see something maybe you've grown up with. And, bittersweet, certainly.
Right.
But to get the fresh city vibes version of the museum is going to be really exciting.
Yeah, things change, and that's okay,
Yep.
So.
Especially if they're for the better, And so when you're updating things and, that's how we all move forward. And I agree. I think the museum.
But the legacy, such as the QWERTY keyboard.
Yes.
Whether it's a typewriter, a computer keyboard, maybe it's a cell phone. Who knows where the QWERTY is going to show up next?
By the way,
Indiana Jones.
By the way, they do have they have one of the first typewriters at the Milwaukee Public Museum, and it's on display. However, and if they're listening, maybe this will motivate them. They have a collection of like 200 plus
Holy cow.
old typewriters that are in storage, And yeah, I think those should be displayed.
Yeah, maybe next
build
year's
a-
Maybe at like
yeah.
I don't know, a festival around typewriters. That would be a great place to have them displayed.
Yeah.
If,
You know
if
what we
only
need?
one of those existed.
You know what we need is remember in the movie the movie Big with Tom Hanks where he plays the giant piano.
Yeah.
We need a giant typewriter that people just
Yes.
type on.
Yes.
That would be crazy.
We've given you like 12
I
solid
know.
ideas.
Yeah,
here,
for
T.
sure. This is great.
You know, he's like, I didn't write any of them down for good reason.
Hey, look, anytime anybody plans a festival, and I'm sure you get this all the time, you get a lot of, you know what you should do?
Oh yeah.
Here's what I would have done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, I appreciate it on some level because people, we've gotten a lot of good ideas from people, actually. So
How many on this show? You don't have to.
You know, when I was a kid, my parents had a typewriter, old school typewriter that came in a suitcase.
Yes.
yeah.
Is that how
Yes.
yours was?
Yeah.
Oh man, did you have one of those growing up?
So my first typewriter I actually bought when I was 15. I worked at a fast food place, and I used my first paycheck wasn't big enough to buy a computer, but I wanted to write, so I bought an electric typewriter.
Love it.
And since then, I don't have a huge collection, but I've got like 3 typewriters, and they're all the old school ones.
Yeah.
and
But
little
you know where there are
suitcases.
like 200 old school.
Yeah, sitting in storage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just sitting there. We didn't forget.
Sounds like the plot of the book.
Full circle.
To Josh Albrecht's. It's a heist that no one saw coming.
2 Josh Albrecht, 200 typewriters. Oh my gosh.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Oh, man.
Well, thank you, T, so much for being here. We really do appreciate the time.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate you helping me get the word out about this. And
Yeah, absolutely. Happy to help. And thank